Creo Parametric 4.0, Lesson 9. In this lesson, we will create some display changes that are basically temporary. They really don't change the model at all. And we're going to start off by turning off certain things. Actually, I have this on. And basically what you want to do is, if you want to try having these available, we can add them later or we can add them now, so that you see all the different variations. Sometimes it's a bit too much on the screen, but we'll put them all on there right now. One of them is the explode. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn off some of the information on here. And you can go down and you can actually select annotation and then window in the whole model. Right mouse button, hide, and it'll take off the notes for the holes. We also, in this case, we can shut off all of our datum tags under the View tab, just to simplify everything. And if we want to shut all of these off, we can also. Now, what it's not going to do is shut off the datum planes here. So we have to go into our layers, click on layers, right mouse button, and hide. And then go back to our model tree. And we will repaint, and everything is off the screen now. We do want to make sure we turn on our tree filters as usual so we can see everything. And we want to be able to see the annotations in the model tree. Next, we're going to just reorient the model a little bit. And we're just going to place it in a type of position that's going to allow us to have a nice view when we do the explode. It gets a little confusing to some people, but a view is the position, and the zoom state has nothing to do with where the components are in explode. So I'm going to bring it like that so we have plenty of room to work when we get to the next stage. Now, we can click on our saved orientations and reorient and give it a new name. I'm just going to EXP1, and I'm going to save that. Okay. Now what will happen is when I go to my views, I now have one called EXP1. And we're going to use that one as we go through the process of doing explode and some of the explode states. Now, before we do that, let's go to the annotation tab and click flat screen. Right mouse button, set. And we're going to add a note here. And it's an unattached note. Put it anywhere. And it's going to say car lane. Now, I'm not going to type all of it. I'll just keep with that. It's kind of funny how slow it's going right now. Good thing I've decided not to go any farther than that with the name. Use the name in the book. And when we click on that, we can actually change the height. And you could change color and anything else that you wanted to do at that point. We'll keep it there. Now, with this selected, we can add a link. And you can see it over here in the tree. You can do the same thing, add a link. And it's going to go to www.carlane.com. And then a screen tip. Let's just do car, something fast. Now, this is complete. If I put my cursor over the top, I can right mouse button, see what the choices are. Over here, do the same thing. And we can open the URL. And a lot of times it gives you this odd thing. I'm not sure why it does it. But basically, you've got to go back to just the simple car lane. And if it does it, you have to do it again. And there's our car lane. And if we look at our product catalog, And our clamps and accessories, swing clamps, swing clamp assemblies, the one with the ball handles. And we'll see that we have the same, basically the same as our model that we've created over the last few lessons. It's slightly different. I'm going to close that and go over to the Model tab. And I'm going to turn off the annotation display so we have more room to work with. And we're going to go into the View Manager. And we're going to take a look at some of the options here. Right mouse button, we're going to activate. That is activated already, but that's how you activate a different simplified ret. As far as the orientation, this is basically the view that we set. If we move this even a little bit, it changes the view. And we've got that one already created because we created it using the commands up here rather than inside the View Manager. So we really don't have to do much on this one here. So as far as going to the explode, we're going to create a new explode, and we'll just hit enter and keep the default name. You'll notice that it comes up down here in the left-hand corner. And we want to go to properties, and we want to explode the position or move the position of each one of the components. And we want to open up this options here because in general, you're going to have move with children, or you're going to turn this off depending on what you want to do. So for instance, if I pick on the swivel and then drag the green arrow, it moves the swivel plus all of its children. If I come unlock that, or I should untoggle it, and I click on the bottom here, I can move that plate. And then again, if I click move with children and I select the shaft here, the stud, and drag it up, and I'll select this. This doesn't have any children, so I don't really have to worry about it one way or another. Move it down a little bit. And as far as the shaft and that goes, if I pick on the whole shaft, or the other stud I should call it, and I drag it out, and then I'll click on the opposite side and move it back over. Now I'm going to move the shaft away from this ball, and I'm going to finish it by selecting the nut and moving it up. So probably the last one would be this, and let's put it down below. Okay, not saying it's perfect, but we don't want to spend too much time to it. You can adjust it until you get it to the positions that you like. Click on check. And here's our list, our status. Go back over to list, and you'll notice that it says has a plus sign. You always want to get rid of that plus sign by saving. Now, if we go back over to orientation, that's got a plus sign. We want to save it. And the next thing we want to do is the style. New style. We'll keep the default. And this one, select show, and it says wireframe. So whatever we click will turn into a wireframe. And you can preview it if you wish. Hidden line. Let's do this one in hidden line. No hidden line. Shading, we can leave them shaded. Transparent. Click a couple of them. So we have all of them in different states for the display. Click OK. And again, you can go around and move things a little bit if you wish. Um, you can rotate the view a tiny bit, but you always have to remember to check everything. Make sure there's no plus signs that have re-emerged. Now we're going to click on All and New, and this becomes our combination, and we're going to reference the original situation, the orientation and explode and style state. I'm going to check this here, and under Edit, take a look. That looks all right. I'm going to click on Show Description, and right mouse button, I'm going to activate the combo. And that should be it. Again, I still like to go back and look one more time to make sure there's no cross sections on this one. And we have our, so they all seem okay. Now at the bottom of the screen, you'll notice that you have two options. You have the combo, and then you have the default. So you can go and you can toggle back and forth with these. Now I think that's everything for the lesson. It's all display oriented things in here. That these are not actual geometry commands. You're not creating anything. You're just setting it up for an exploded view, a style state. These can be used in the drawing, by the way, and that's one of the reasons for doing it, or for presentations. So it looks like we pretty much covered all the items in it. That concludes Lesson 9.